I mean, wicked can just be more than just a word, a descriptor word. Like it can be an
An
actual
adjective.
noun.
Barding. Ah.
These
I don't know
things.
any of these things besides
How
Bree's
do you,
hockey
how do you?
journey.
We got our first hater the other day.
Shout out to my dad.
That made me mad. Now I'm triggered.
Oh, and god damn it. What a pro wants. What a pro wants.
Is any of that going to be a cold open?
Maybe.
I was just thinking, I'm like, we always have cold opens when Owen's on.
Yeah,
so
well,
obviously-
I just can't stop talking.
we blather a lot for sure.
We're just
Yeah.
friends. We're just hanging out
Yeah.
talking.
We are friends.
And this is episode 69 of the Bread Loves Hockey podcast.
Our nicest episode to date. What do you guys think? Very
Pretty nice,
excited to be
sure.
back.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to
as
have you
always.
back for a second week in a row, Owen.
This your first time back to back?
I don't
Other
think
than
so.
like maybe 14, 15, like it's been a minute. Like I feel like there was one early on in the teens,
I
but
think-
other than that,
I think that's right.
Nice.
I'd have to consult the thumbnails,
yeah, y'all are pretty good at
the
finding our
archives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have a limited supply of guests, guest hosts available, so.
Well, of the pool that you've looked at so far, I think you need to start just cold calling NHL players.
Right, as soon as I get any of
I
those
actually-
numbers.
Didn't tell either of you guys about this until just now. I looked up and emailed Luca Celebre from Bar Down and was like, "Hey, you got 15 minutes to spare? We have this hodunky little podcast. Would you mind coming on?" Never got a response.
Yeah,
But I figured it'd be funny to surprise you with like a surprise guest, and it's like, I don't know. Somebody
Why'd
said,
you pick
"I do it."
Luca? Is Luca your favorite?
I saw him on Instagram.
You're like,
and
"Hey,
then
I
it
know
was-
him."
In his Instagram, it was like for business inquiries or whatever, you can email this.
Mm.
I bet Jesse would respond.
maybe.
Maybe.
I sent an
There's
email.
Sam.
Sam's pretty nice. I can
And
see
people,
him.
or DZ. I could see DZ coming on.
Sure, but he kind of had to run the show, wouldn't he?
He is kind of the guy in charge of
Yeah.
everything.
He can run the show. That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Take it over.
Hey!
No, like just abandon it. It's just
We're
the
just making a quiz
DZ loves
episode that
hockey.
you
podcast.
introduced us.
Yeah, exactly. I sent I think I DM'd the Zoobcast guys one time to
Really?
suggest you as a guest, and they never
Oh, that's funny.
they never.
I've
said
actually, I
anything.
think I've reached out to them because they've done a like, hey, is anybody that follow us be down to like do it? And I reached out to them. I messaged them back and forth a few times on Twitter, but have not interacted with them in a while or since I left Twitter.
Hmm.
So we'll see if that happens. That or like Wally, from the Coming in Hot podcast. Basically the other big, I guess the Big Sense podcast, other than Locked On. Those are the two
Locked
main
On,
ones at
yeah,
this point. Locked On, and then the Coming in Hot with Wally and York, Ian York.
You would be the only
First
one that
name
would
guy.
know. Yeah. Didn't you watch
Some
the
old
last
guy.
week's
Some
episode?
old guy. They're not gonna listen to this, so I don't feel bad saying that.
Yeah, it's
Wally's
okay.
a former reporter. They're pretty good. It's a good cover of the Sens. It's a weird big market, small market team because it's like the capital of Canada and therefore like the capital of hockey. But that's Toronto.
but not really.
But not really. But it's the capital of Canada, right? And so that comes with a lot of people and a lot of like, I don't know. There's a big French side to it too that I haven't really learned much about because the Sens have neglected it for a while. Really interesting city. Interesting
There you
market.
go. We've all been.
We've all been together too. Best part. Brendan, also, I may have a ticket for you in Nashville.
Is that
One of our members may not go. So if you would be willing to fly to Nashville, we would pick you up from the airport or pay for your Uber, and then Uber you back to the airport whenever the next convenient flight happened. You would have a room to stay in the house, and could come to a Nashville versus Ottawa game with me and my family.
Ooh. That's.
You haven't been to Nashville yet, right?
I haven't.
And there's not really anything close to Nashville other than maybe Raleigh.
Not really, and maybe I
St.
think
Louis.
like St.
Well, no, we looked
Louis.
at St. Louis. Nashville isn't actually as far as you would think.
Yeah, but I could also
That's
just
fair.
do St.
That's
Louis
fair.
and Chicago, and then do Nashville on its own and Raleigh on its own.
Because you
But-
could, I mean, Minnesota, Winnipeg is gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, I know.
That's a fun one too.
When we were coming up, or when I was coming up with like potential ideas for which trip we were gonna do, there were actually a lot of Minnesota Winnipeg weekends that were like a
I feel like
possibility.
that's not bad. Rent a car and just drive.
It's
a couple
like-
hours. I mean, we did.
It's
that
like
in
7.5
Phoenix,
hours or something like that. So yeah, it would have been a longer one, but I think it would have also been fun. We just didn't end up
Right.
doing that one this time.
I mean, but I feel like we could do that at some point. Like, we can entertain ourselves for 7.5 hours in the car after not seeing each other for however long.
Yeah, I don't think it would be like too bad. Probably we could do the Alberta one too, but I mean, I'm interested in
Alberta one would be
Nashville.
I think that'd be fun. But yeah, we can we'll be in touch.
We'll chat.
My
Stay tuned,
people
folks.
can reach out to your people.
Yeah.
We'll see if we have Brendan on the ground.
I think I'm both of those. I'm your people and I'm my people.
Brendan's gonna talk to himself real
Yeah.
deep about this and figure out what's going on. Dean, if you'd like to come, you're sadly gonna have to sit somewhere else. All the seats around us are taken.
I can be the backup plan if Brendan can't.
I mean, if you want to, you're more than welcome. I mean, I wouldn't complain. I don't know.
When is it?
February 2nd or 3rd.
Keep it in mind.
It's a Monday,
Okay.
which makes it tough.
Yeah.
Probably will be a little bit cheaper to fly though.
Yeah, it's an evening game on a Monday.
Okay.
So anyway, speaking about hockey trips,
Hockey trips.
Brendan went on a little hockey trip.
Yeah,
Yes,
not
he
really a
did.
trip because it's like not.
You left
very-
your house to go see hockey.
Yeah, I went
He
outside.
didn't watch it at home.
Yeah, right. Saw the Clarkson versus RPI and Clarkson versus Union games this past weekend in RPI and Union, which was pretty fun. We had a big group of Clarkson alum coming for the RPI game. There was 12 of us total. Not all of us were alumni, I guess. There were a couple that were, significant others, but yeah. But it was still a good group. We didn't have great seats though, which I was actually the one that picked the seats, so it was kind of my bad because it was like we were a little bit offset. I've said it before how the RPI arena is designed extremely poorly, despite them being the RPI engineers. Like that's their team mascot and nickname.
Huh.
The arena is just awful. So it
Have
was
you-
just
do you have
not
pictures
good.
of it?
Yeah, I'll throw some pictures up. But I'll show you guys too, of course. But they are, yeah, it's just not set up in a good way to view things because there's no seats on the glass. There's like the walkway right next to the glass for people to get to all their seats. So people are constantly just going down in front of the glass area to go to like the concessions, go to the bathroom, move to other seats or whatever. So that's just like frustrating on its own. And then it's like constructed where there are like angles where you're behind the goal, and so you just basically can't see anything on the other end of the ice. And yeah, overall it's just not a good system. But regardless, I had a fun time. It was a 3-1 win for Clarkson, and it was basically a shutout. The RPI scored with like 6 seconds left or 10 or something like that. So like whatever. It wasn't
I know
really.
that Clarkson goalie's good.
Yeah, he was doing pretty well. He started both games, and I hadn't heard of him before, but he was pretty good. I'm trying to remember what his name. He has like a longer name. It was kind of unusual.
Ethan something.
Marcus Brandman.
No, I think he's number 1.
Oh, I'm looking at the end of the roster. Ethan Langen something.
Yeah.
Langenegger.
Langenegger.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he was
It's
good.
kind of weird looking at this roster because I'm like, I don't know anyone because obviously the turnaround is
Right.
like 4 years, not like
Right.
NHL teams. Do you know
Yeah.
who's still there though? Tad Johnson,
Oh yeah.
Who?
strength and conditioning coach.
The strength and
You know
conditioning
how like
coach is Tad Johnson. The way the
exactly.
Cheel Arena announcer.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, I
They also
love
have an
that.
assistant coach named Corey Schneider,
That's fun.
Could
and
it
Gasper
be?
Sekeli is still the academic
Casper
advisor.
Kelly.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I had one of his classes once.
Yeah, me too.
Good time.
Yeah, so that was the RPI game. It was not like a great game. Both teams weren't playing super well, but Clarkson just kind of did enough to end up getting the win. But it was fun. And then so that was Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon, or sorry, it was Friday night, and then Saturday afternoon was the Union game. And I had never been to that arena before. This was the first time. It's very old, and they're actually getting a new arena, which I think will be opening either for the start of next season or for 2 seasons from now. I can't remember, but so I'll have to go and check that out because I'm sure it's going to be a major improvement on the current setup. It was like just bleacher seats, like wooden bleacher seats, so there was no back support on any of the seats. Right. And just like the way that you get to them is kind of strange. Like it stops at some point where you can just go up like a normal stairway, and then you have to go around to go up towards the back section. It's like, I don't know. It's just another weird design choice. But they had a much better Jumbotron, I thought. And we were sitting in better seats, which also made it better. Like, we could basically see the whole ice instead of seeing like half of it for a majority of the RPI game. So that was good. I mean, it was good to see something different, and they ended up winning that game 4-1, and they had like a really strong game. I think Union actually scored first, and then Clarkson got a shorthanded goal, and I think they got a power play goal as well, and then they kind of just like ran away with it for the majority of the game. So they had a solid outing, and there were a lot of Clarkson fans at both games. They were pretty vocal. The pep band was going, and Union didn't even have their pep band there at all. So it was just the Clarkson pep band. And, yeah, Bree was like, "Why is the Union pep band like not even here?" I'm like, they're probably just playing at another event, like playing at a football game or something, because Union has like a lot more like big sports.
Have a full team?
Yeah, like they have a lot more competitive teams versus Clarkson's like, we have D1 hockey and then D3 football, and everything else is like, yeah, not near.
They don't even have
D3
level. Football.
No.
Or D3 basketball, maybe. I thought they had D3 football. Maybe they have
D3
some.
baseball, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Or
volleyball.
Lacrosse.
Yeah, but their volleyball team actually wasn't too bad when we were there. But yeah, other than that,
1 to 5 Bread Loves Hockey podcast logos. How many would you rate the Union Stadium?
Union Stadium, I would rank
the old vibe, old Union Stadium. I want to see how it would compare to the.
I'll do
Stadium.
3, I guess, because it's
3 Bread Loves Hockey podcast logos.
It does have a cool dome effect, which I did like quite a bit. But I would give RPI a solid 1. Bread Loves Hockey logo, yeah.
Just 1 Bread Loves Hockey logo.
Yeah.
I was like, you're trying to get me to do it.
Yeah, he's really trying.
What?
Yeah. Wow, look at all these cool logos.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what Dean does with that.
That's interesting that even the Union mega old building you still find better than whatever RPI is devised.
Yeah, I mean, I just never have had a positive viewing experience with RPI.
Where would you put Cheel?
Cheel is definitely the best, like, of the ones that I've been to, which I've only been to the 3. We kind of went to St. Lawrence, but we didn't go inside. We only went in the vestibule to find out the tickets were sold out. But I've heard that one's also very nice. But I think I would give Chile at least a 4. I mean, it's actually designed like a regular stadium. Yeah, new Chile too. Like it's improved that way.
It's like it's gotten a whole new facelift and stuff. Like I think it looks fancy from the outside.
It
Got the
does.
whole gym now.
It looks much more like obviously it doesn't look like a Minnesota or a UND or whatever, right? Because it just doesn't have that sort of money. But it definitely looks closer to that than it does its own whatever football or basketball locker room or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it has some more pedigree to it, which is cool to see.
Yeah, I saw they were doing something with Walker Arena the other day.
Yeah.
Too.
What rating would you make Walker?
Oh man.
2 Brendan
The
Love
thing was-
Yeah,
Redneck
that's a
Hockey
2.
That's a 2.
I loved
Walker
that
was a
the
blast.
vestibule smelled like cat piss every time we walked in there. That was really nice.
This was a detached, like off-campus, basically old hockey arena that they had converted into like an indoor turf, but it was only as big as like a hockey rink, right? So it was small, like too small for soccer or really anything, but they'd let you rent it out and use it as like a student group for doing intramural sports or whatever. So we went down
And they
there a
had
few times
the
when I was young.
wires overhead for like the batting cage that never got used or whatever it was for. So like whenever you played anything, you would always hit the wires.
If you
Yeah.
cleared like a ball, you would just kick it into a wire. And
Frisbee.
balls would get stuck up in the roof. You have to climb up the rafter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
the ball would
yeah.
land in the gym that's locked, so you have to climb the fence. Yeah.
It was good, but I mean it was built in the 40s, 50s.
But it looks like it, like the era.
Like
I
it was
think
it was an old building.
it was cool to check out though, especially as a freshman when you don't know anything. You're like just doing,
Like, oh, this door is open.
kind of just
Right.
fucking around a little bit, and like, yeah, we just wandered in there basically, and like, yeah, you can go into where like the old announcer's booth is, and just kind of like check things out, which was kind of fun, but. And it was cool that like you could just go there, especially because most people didn't go to use it for like frisbee or whatever. So,
Right.
although
It
I think
was-
they
it was
had
open all the
interv-
time. Like,
I think they had intramural
24/7.
soccer in there sometimes though.
Mhm.
Probably some other events. We did spike ball in there for sure.
Yep.
Anyways, so that was
Alright.
my
It's time.
trip.
Time to talk about the Bruins.
Oh wait, hold on, wait.
Bruins
Before we talk about the
time.
Bruins, I have one more thing.
Sinking ship.
Justin was with us during the trip, and he gave me this book, which you guys might have seen before. I think it's backwards in here, but it's
It's
called
not you.
Fabric of the Game: The Stories Behind the NHL's Names, Logos, and Uniforms. So
That's
obviously,
really
I'm a
awesome.
big jersey guy.
Yeah.
I think he said his dad got it for him, and he just thought that I would appreciate it a lot more. And so it's been fun.
There's got to be pictures, right?
Oh yeah, there's pictures in
Oh
here.
yeah, show us a preview. Just
Yeah.
sneak peek.
What chapter are you on?
Here's North Stars right there. I'm on. I just finished reading.
Is it chronological or team based?
It's just oriented alphabetically by
I see.
team name. So I just
You
finished.
made it through the Bruins.
Yes, I did. I just finished the Sabres, so I am on the Calgary Flames, and they're also doing the Atlanta Flames at the same time.
The Calgary chapter. That's where the plot really thickens.
Yeah. This stuff is gonna be crazy.
I prefer really the Dallas turn.
Yeah, the plot twist when you get to the S's, pretty crazy.
I can't wait. It's fun though. It's not like as completely dedicated to just the jerseys as I thought it was. I mean, even in the description, it's about the names, logos, and uniforms. So it's a lot more like history about the team and how decisions were made that caused like a new nickname or a new jersey or whatever. So it's still pretty fascinating, and I'm really excited to keep reading it because obviously this is something that I am very interested in. So and I'd want to read it for a while. I just never ended up pulling the trigger on buying it. So thanks to
But it was something
Justin.
you knew about beforehand.
Yeah, I did know about it. I'd seen people talk about it and stuff before. but I'd never.
Thanks to that mystery person that none of the viewers know, but have heard
Yeah.
many things about.
Yeah,
That'll be such a great
and
reveal for the community.
this will be a little. I mean, I'm a little premature on this, but he was loosening a bit about the idea of coming onto the show.
It's only taken 69 weeks, but
He's
we're getting there.
yeah. I think
Uh,
like maybe January was the time frame that I got from him on when he thinks he could be able to come onto the show.
He's week to week
Hey.
right now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He's week to week. So many thanks to Justin for that. I did give him his Ducks reverse retro hat that I was gonna give him for Christmas a little bit early since he gave me this. I was like, well, there you go. Hey.
Ready?
I was wondering who was going to come through that door.
Okay.
There's a Bree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just Bree barging in. Hey!
So the Bruins.
Yeah. Okay. I got lost in the sauce there.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
the Bruins.
So
Hey,
the
cool
Bruins.
book.
The team that is last place offensively, bottom 5 defensively. They
They
fired their coach.
Do they still
Jim
have the worst
Montgomery.
power play too?
Worst power play. One of the worst penalty kills.
It's pretty bad.
The guy in charge of the penalty kill is now their coach. So yeah, Joe Sacco's the interim now. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like other Bruins fans are thinking it'll just be him the rest of the year because it kind of gives Don Sweeney, the GM, like some leeway where it's like, well, we don't have a new coach yet, so like if we suck, we suck. Like we didn't hire a new coach already, so I mentioned before, like you get as a GM a few coach firings, so you like the next coach is probably his last coach, if that. I mean, Don Sweeney still has a lot to do the rest of this year with the roster. If he doesn't make improvements, then he's probably gone. Like there's a big front office shakeup probably coming in the off season, unless this really turns around. But basically, my thoughts are Montgomery was a good coach. He just wasn't the right coach for this team anymore. It seemed like the players weren't motivated anymore. They were like quitting in these games. In the offseason, Sweeney got created a team that was big and slow. We've talked about this with like the Dorov signing and like not loving that even at the time. But when Montgomery came in, he was all about speed, like defenders coming up on the play and like taking chances, things like that. And that play style does not suit this team. So it's kind of like Sweeney kind of screwed Montgomery over in a way, like built this team that doesn't fit his coaching style. So I mean, some teams are going to scoop up Jim Montgomery so quick because he's, like I said, he's a great coach. He just didn't have the right style for this team anymore, which isn't fair to Monty. But at the same time, it's like he was kind of part of the problem because his coaching didn't gel, and like we can even go back to like the first playoffs where he kept Olmark in, and like you can nitpick all the things that like he wasn't perfect in, and even last season in the playoffs we go up 3-1, then go to Game 7 against Toronto. So like if we lose that, maybe Monty's fired even then. So who knows? But it'll be interesting going forward. I don't think Joe Sacco is gonna make this team that much better. I mean, when you get a new coach, you get a little bump sometimes, so maybe that'll happen. But those are my general thoughts as Bruins outsiders. Brennan's less so, but what are your thoughts on the firing?
And I was gonna give it to you,
but from the outside, in general, it feels like part of the process of going from being good to being not good to trying to being good again. So like, welcome. From inside
familiar
the boots
territory.
Of a Senators fan. Yeah, from inside the boots of a Senators fan. You have fun, and I've wished this upon you and your people for a long time.
Oh damn!
Wow.
Hostile. Maybe I shouldn't have let him go first.
This is a wanted downfall of the proven elites in the Atlantic that I am ready for. If it takes, I mean, realistically, if Boston's not taking up a playoff spot, that like moves, that increases Ottawa's chances, right? Not going to say that moves us into that spot. We are not playing well at all, and things
Also,
have to change.
this team isn't like they're performing way worse than their roster. Like their roster is not great, but
It's
they're
not
not a
bad.
bottom five. They're
No,
not
no,
a
no,
worst
absolutely.
offense in the league team. Like they're not
No.
a tank team.
But you
They're
also know vibe plays a lot, right? And like when a
yeah.
team is on a slump, they're slumping, right? And like
And it's like
a new coach,
a lot
um,
of players are all slumping at the same time. Like McAvoy
right?
is having a
That's like a
terrible
culture
season.
thing.
Marchand, like, is he gonna be like a 50-point guy now, and that's it?
Corpusalo has better stats than Swayman.
That's really
Forsberg has
major cause for
better stats
concern.
than Allmark.
Yeah, Allmark
What'd you
hasn't
say?
been great.
Forsberg's outdoing Allmark
He hasn't been great
handily.
either.
Allmark's been bad.
We broke a bond that should never have been
Yeah,
broken.
the
We
voodoo
both
magic
fucked
is
up here.
gone. They
We'll trade
They
you
both got their
Forsberg
$8 million,
for Swayman.
and we're
How about
like,
that?
well, we're set. We don't need to play hockey anymore.
Yeah.
they said you break
No,
us
but
up.
honestly,
They
like
perform like their
Swayman,
friendship hex on the two franchises, and
Swayman hasn't played bad. It's just the team's played bad in front of him. Like it's
They've
his
been
bad.
such
His
hard goals.
Swayman's 5-on-5 stats are actually good. It's just his penalty kill save percentage is like 800 or something.
Yeah. Allmark's had a couple 700 something games. Like it's been challenging. Like 5 goal, 17 shot sort of vibe.
yeah,
It's
jeez,
like
that's not good.
But yeah, I guess like to conclude my thoughts, like as the Bruins, this is like what you need to do. I mean, because again, you're not going to make a front office change now. I mean, well, obviously they're not anymore, but like that's hard to do during the season. But like firing a coach is like I've said this before too. It's like the last chance you have to kind of turn things around. And I kind of prefer if you're going to do it with 20 games in rather than 40,
mm,
and see what happens. But like I said,
sure.
I think the front office obviously they're scorching hot right now, and
I
if they
mean,
don't do something big, either like trade wise or like trade deadline or just something to change and bring things around, like they're gone too.
yeah, I was gonna say
Sweeney and Neely.
like is Sweeney like untouchable? I mean, it
Mm-mm.
feels like it because I think this is his third Jack Adams coach that they've fired.
Yeah,
Like,
he's one of the longest tenured GMs too.
yeah,
Yeah, like
it's
Jim Montgomery has lost just 41 games in regulation in 184 games, 120, 41,
Jesus.
and 23. But also we had that one year where we overperformed. So like,
Still,
I
some of
mean,
that's
and then
some
you're
of that
500 this year and you
contributed to
fire
the coach.
him. Like, I mean, it's
It
a big
feels like
market team, so is it an
an
overreaction?
overreaction. It feels like an overreaction to
And
a team that's
even
not playing very well.
Sweeney said that like he was looking at extending Montgomery and like the numbers didn't match, and then now he's like, and then I just felt like we needed to fire him now. Like,
yeah,
okay.
like okay, you don't want to pay him, so you're just gonna get rid of him. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
more to it than that, but
That's the other reason people were saying that like Sacco's probably going to be the guy the rest of the year because like, well, knowing the owners of the Bruins, like they're not going to want to pay two coaches at the same time.
Right.
no.
With the
So
Jacobs family.
this Sacco guy, like if the team doesn't perform now, you don't fire him, right? You
I mean,
start
he's
just
been
shipping
with the
off
team for
players.
like a decade as an assistant coach, so it's not like it's a fresh voice anyway.
Right, right. So like, what are you intending to change? And then what are you just gonna fire him and then get another coach?
Right.
Like that can't. That's
Yeah.
Just
like
I
I get the
mean,
wanting
maybe
to
you
do it
just
sooner than
demote him.
later, but like I feel like there was more time to see what was going on in Boston, and if it was a fluke. Like, yeah, we're a quarter into the season, but there's still 3 quarters of the season to be played.
So you think like make a trade to shake things up rather than
Before
just
firing a
immediately
coach.
fire Montgomery? Yeah, because I
it's
do
also
think
not
he's
like
valuable.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like
Just
other
he's
teams are
not.
gonna be, yeah,
It
definitely
doesn't seem like he
interested.
has value to this
Detroit,
team anymore. Like it's not
yeah,
like we're a 500 team and we've
Right.
just been unlucky. We're a 500 team and we're losing these games to bad teams and we're not showing effort like night in and
Right.
night out.
Right. It feels like a GM who is a little pissed off
Yeah,
and like maybe a little spiteful.
and maybe just did a little panic move because he's like, "Uh oh, my job's next. I need to do
Right.
something."
Right. I'm trying not to get
Yeah,
fired.
because none of his
I didn't.
moves have
I didn't
worked
fuck
out.
up by picking the players. It's the coach's fault who can't coach my players. I picked the right players. He just can't
Right.
coach them.
Yeah, and
This other guy, he can coach them.
I guess we'll see like
We'll
how
see.
long Sweeney feels that way about the guys that he traded for and signed this
But he
offseason.
would the GM admit that and be like, "Oh, I fucked up"?
No, but like will they
Start
let
trading
go
people.
of somebody in the offseason? Like they won't re-sign a 1-year deal that they signed. I don't know if they had any guys like that. Or trade somebody that they just signed, or even just trade somebody else to go a different direction. Like instead of getting a bigger, slower defenseman, maybe they trade for like a younger prospect or something like that. Just change the outlook.
How about Zadorov for Shabbat?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Is
the
Shabbat that
Bruins would
bad?
do that.
Is Zadorov a right D?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then sure.
Sure.
He's not
Well,
been
you answer my question.
Trade just broke.
Kind of. He's been really uninspiring. The whole team has been, as of late, but like, I feel like especially with Jake Sanderson and like with the other young guys, and with Travis Hamonic, like, I don't know.
Legend.
I feel like if the Sens were gonna part with a player, that would be the player I would part with.
Actually, Zadorov's a lefty.
Ah, dang.
I know I shouldn't have trusted Brendan.
I just went for
Maybe
it.
not. Maybe we need a sweetener with that.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
something
guess
could be worked out.
Shabbat plays left.
There
So
you
he
go.
can get a little size. Because Sanderson's certainly fast enough to run PP1 and everything. Shabbat's on PP2 anyways.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I guess
Boston gets the puck moving defenseman they want.
yeah. Well, this is make believe. So,
Wait, what?
my immersion. Yeah.
I can't speak my thoughts into existence.
Not yet. They're working on it though. You know what's up there? A 3x3.65 extension for Braden McNabb to stick
That
around.
guy.
He's played the most games of any Golden Knight, so kind of cool to have him back. I think this was the longest amount of time I'd want to re-sign him for. I don't think 4 years would be good, so I think this is fine. Like he might not be great by the last year of the deal, but I don't really think it's a big concern, especially for like a guy who's been there for a long time. So I'm happy with it overall. I don't know what it, again, we've been kind of just talking about what the implications are for Vegas for next season, like who they're going to be able to keep around as they keep signing these extensions this year. Maybe that means we won't be able to keep Olofsson and some of these other guys, but overall, I'm fine with it. I think he's worth it. Pretty good, still pretty good shot blocker. Pretty physical too. Like he usually is around the top 20, 25 players for hits for the season. So I always like that.
Good to have that on your back end.
I don't have as many thoughts on it as you, obviously, but like the contract seems reasonable. I don't really have any complaints.
Yeah, not a ton of crazy takes on that one.
Yeah.
I guess good to get a cheapish contract locked in for the next couple years. Serviceable player. Knowing the cap's going to rise. Hoping the cap's going to rise.
Yeah, which it sounds like it's going to be a little bit higher than, or it's possible it could be a little bit higher than what they were initially projecting.
Well, Elliot Friedman was saying 92.5, and then depending the year after, could go up to high 90s, and he was thinking like a couple years it could be like the high end would be like almost 110.
Yeah, I think Friedman was saying like instead of 92.5, it could be even closer to 94 or like almost 97, just even next year. I don't know. We'll see. Like maybe that's too high. I wouldn't be surprised if it was still 92.5.
We're gonna be 9 or
We're at 88 flat right now, I believe.
yeah.
88.
Yeah, 88 flat.
Hmm.
So 4.5 would be the 92.5. Six
that's a big
million
jump.
would be that that 94. So yeah,
Mhm.
that would be
I
big,
mean, that
and
whole contract's getting eaten.
yeah, that could change. That could change a lot for sure, or at
Right.
least, I mean, like again, it's theoretical. Like some teams could still just not be aggressive, but I
Right.
feel
Not
like
not every team goes to the cap. I think that's what, unless you've raised the floor as well, I think you'd see more disparity between the better and worse teams, right? Because the better teams would be able to be more incentivized to spend to the cap versus those worse teams that, like, why spend $110 million if you only have to spend 54 and you know you're going to get last anyways because you just don't have the guys.
yeah, I mean I think the floor is like 60 something.
65. I literally just looked it up. 'Cause I'm like, does
Yeah,
that go up when the cap goes up?
usually it does. Yeah,
It's probably some percentage.
yeah. I don't know what the whole structure is, but I would imagine it would be like 66, 68,
Hmm.
somewhere around there. I wouldn't quote me
It'd
on
be
that though.
interesting to see how that side also affects the teams that are, like, at the bottom.
Yeah, like I imagine Columbus and Calgary would probably be still around there, unless Calgary continues to do well this year, which they're like still doing fine. They're not like great, but out. They're still outperforming where people were expecting them to be. So from that perspective, I guess it's good. Not good
So
for
the
me.
lower limit was originally set at 55% of the cap, but is now defined to be 16 million below the cap.
Oh,
Interesting.
so it
I wonder
moves.
if that will
It
stay,
moves the same amount.
that rule, if
Is that in the
it goes up to, like,
CBA?
110.
Is
Yeah,
that
I wonder where that is set and how fluid that is. Because you said it's changed. Because if the cap goes up to 110 and every team has to spend at least 94 million, that's crazy. Or even if the cap goes up to 97, like you said, everyone has to spend at least 81 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I could see them maybe changing it, but I feel well, it would depend on like how the like each team is doing. Like if there are sim
Right.
teams, like if there was an Arizona still in the team that was just really strapped for cash, maybe they would, forgo that or would
I mean,
lower
even
the
the
cap floor.
2018 Senators didn't want to spend just to the cap floor.
But the 16 million doesn't seem right because on cap wages,
There's my
that would
15
be
Senators.
72 million. And you have the Flames, the Ducks, and the Blue
65.
Jackets all below that. 72 would be 16 below the
Current
cap.
88. Huh. Oh,
I
right.
don't know. I mean, Wikipedia can be wrong sometimes.
Yeah, that is weird. A little surprised we didn't get there before now, but that's okay. We were having other discussions, so we just trusted that the numbers would work out.
Yeah. I trust Dean to do math. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Are Bears Catholic?
Well, and also 55% would be 48. That's
Yeah,
definitely
55 didn't seem well, like that does seem pretty dramatic, but I don't know
pretty
when
low.
that
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is now, but I guess maybe those teams are below the floor, but like there's some reason
What's
you
the
can be.
punishment for
I
this?
don't think that I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure
Well,
it's
yeah, kind of the whole thing with the Blue Jackets trying to get to the floor this year. So
yeah.
who knows?
Maybe it used to be 16 and now it's the whatever percent as it's gone up. Is
It could be.
65? What is it? 65% of? No, it
Well,
wouldn't
because
be.
the lower limit is 65 million, but I don't know where that number comes from because it's not 16
Well,
million
what's
less than the.
65 million divided by 88 million?
Well, it's 55% of
Oh,
88 is 48 something.
What about 65%?
Well, it's not 65% because that would be 65% of 100 would be 65. I'm
Oh,
only at
sure.
88. Um,
So
I don't know.
60%, my guess.
So, I mean, yeah, 65 divided by 88 is 74-ish. So,
74% is how much of the cap you have to spend this year.
That's the rule.
I don't. Well, I think it would. Sure. Yeah.
I don't
Sure.
know.
I.
Anyway,
I think we've gotten enough out of this. What do you say?
yeah.
How
Cha-ching.
about we rip through some injury updates? Because we've been kind of doing that a little bit.
I give that last segment a 3.5 Bread Loves Hockey podcast logos.
Really, that's great.
Oh no, not a half logo.
That Dean's like, please don't. That's gonna be so difficult. We've got so Freddie Anderson is dealing with a lower body injury. They said no longer considered week to week, but then they go, he's going to be out way longer. That's terrible.
In Carolina still, right?
Yeah, still in Carolina. And then Kochetkov is doubtful for tomorrow against the Sens. This was a couple days ago, so I don't know if he ended up playing.
I don't think he did.
Okay, yeah. So it's probably Spencer Martin then was playing some games. Yeah, things are not good. They always seem to have injured goalies. Kochetkov has dealt with injuries. Freddie Anderson has dealt with injuries like his whole career, especially in Carolina. It's been particularly bad. So that's like, oh, geez. You never want to have that. But it would be nice for the Canes to have one season where they just don't have to deal with goalie injuries. But I feel like the Avs have also had a similar thing, and hey, it worked out one year, so maybe it'll work out this year or next year. I don't know. And then so Matthews has been out on IR for a little bit, and he went to Germany to go get some treatment for, it's like an upper body injury is just what they said. They didn't specify anything more than that. But he's projected to come back next Wednesday, so a week
Well, they
from
were
today.
saying during the game tonight that they said Sunday, but more likely Wednesday.
Okay. So they kind of just wanted to take advantage of this stretch right now that maybe they thought that was a little bit weaker, and get him back to full strength. I don't know what's going on, and it sounds like he chose to go to Germany and he's gone to see this doctor before, so I guess that's good. I don't really know anything more than that though. But hopefully he comes back and is fine. He hasn't really been scoring this year, so maybe this is part of the problem.
Brad Living had a quote. He said the trip was more of a general checkup, but also to get some work done on his thing. Thank you for that.
That's very revealing.
Yeah. It's not alarming. It's something we have been discussing, knowing that he's going to be getting this week off. But we're hopeful that once we get through the week here, he will be back up and skating, and his return to play would be after that. So basically saying nothing.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing what he has to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on with Matthews, and then tragedy. Alex Ovechkin dealing with a lower body injury. I believe it was his ankle, week to week. I mean, it looked like at first it was going to be a lot worse. There was people talking about potential ACL injury, which would be season ending and could honestly be career ending at his age. But it sounds like that's not the case. So as far as that goes, it's fortunate, but it does suck for us fans who are obviously looking forward to watching the goal record chase, and just the Caps in general have been really good.
Yeah, he was on a heater. The team was on a heater.
Isn't he still leading the league in goals?
Probably.
Before we go any further, do we want to call in our resident Capitals expert who's standing by?
I was going to say, is he around?
He is standing by.
While we wait, I can also read this email we got from a anonymous emailer going by the pseudonym Ollie Sykes. If you know, you know. Brendan might know who that is.
Don't know.
He asks, if you had to guess right now, what date do you think Ovi breaks Gretzky's record? This was also 2 days ago before the injury happened. He is going on record saying November 14th, 2025, even though he's on pace to break it this year. Again, before the injury. So, and he also
So-
asks, and isn't it time the Caps are acknowledged as true Stanley Cup contenders?
Now?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, who sent you this?
An
Ollie
anonymous
Sykes.
emailer, Ollie Sykes.
Sykes.
That's their pseudonym.
Ah, yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I was saying it before that like this team, their underlying stats look good. Like it's not just like a PDO run. Like they're looking like a good team. But I did this with Vancouver
scoring a
too
lot.
last year. Well, Vancouver, their analytics didn't look as good, but I was like, it can't last, and then it did. But with Ovi out now, it's like I don't know.
How
I mean,
much does that affect things? Yeah,
they make the playoffs for sure. Like unless something terribly goes wrong. But
I think so.
Which is wild after last year to say
I
that they
say-
didn't make the playoffs this year.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, anything can happen in the playoffs. Like you have to get past the Panthers.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. But they would have to get past the Rangers first.
Yeah.
I
I don't know
think
about.
we're
I don't know if
maybe
I'm
more
ready for
bragging.
cup contenders. I think they can make a run.
Oh, I don't think they're at all cup contenders. I'm not even sure they're gonna keep up this momentum. I think it's fun. I think it's cool, but
But so what? Where do you
Really,
think they end? In the
you don't think they're
standings?
real?
I don't know if they're. I'm not saying I don't think they are. I'm just saying I don't think they are.
I think they're the number one scoring offense right now.
Which means they're gonna fall back to regression, right? I mean, I don't. No team is gonna stay the number one scoring offense the entire time. I think. Like I feel like, and if it is gonna be a team, I feel like it's going to be the McDavid Draisaitl team and not the 37-year-old Alex Ovechkin team.
39.
39-year-old Alex
Allegedly.
Ovechkin team. Allegedly.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I don't know. I haven't seen his birth certificate. Where is he?
I
Yeah.
cannot find a video of the injury. I can see like everyone's just like talking about it obviously because it's big news, but no one's showing the full like the video. Like, did he take a puck to the ankle?
I
or did he
saw
kick
it at
No,
one
he
point.
got skated into. So he was like,
Oh, here we go. Full clip coming up. They say.
Yeah.
Here we
He's
go.
got a full clip coming up.
Full clip coming up. Yeah, it's
Full
like
clip?
ankle on ankle.
Did you
It zoomed in. Oh no, stick on the ankle.
did you share with the class?
Here you go. I figured, I thought you guys already saw it.
I wanted to remember.
The dramatic zooms.
There were many dramatic zooms.
Oh boy.
The zooms aren't good either. This is not a great
They're
video.
not
Oh
good.
man, when's the frickin' clip? We're just gonna be
Dude, this
cutting
is
most
the
of
worst
this.
video. Why did
This
you
is-
send this? This
Try to
video
find a
sucks.
better one. Watch at like 44 is the best part.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they try to zoom in and you can't tell what's going on.
Why?
Jack McBain.
What happened? This is terrible.
He just got like the side of his leg, side of the back of his leg skated into.
Is it his right angle? When he lands, it turns.
Mm.
I think that's what it is. I don't think it's the fall. I think it's his right ankle when he goes on the ice. Like, watch at like 46 seconds.
Hmm.
Where's our resident expert?
I don't know.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah,
don't
his
know.
reaction was that's what I think. I
Oh,
think
okay.
let me see him.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he is on his left foot here.
And
Well,
it just like maybe pushed and then just tweaked that foot under him.
I think
Oh.
he just like basically sprained his ankle.
yeah, so week
Or
to week is
broke
what
one
they're
of those
saying.
bones down there.
That's not too bad. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him back in December. Who knows how long, though. So we'll see how the Caps do, with him out.
It's also
If they
worrisome that they said
step up.
it's not season ended not season ending. It's like when you have to say that, like, it can't be that good.
Yeah, that's... And maybe it's just because people assumed the worst and like everybody's got their eyes on Ovi this season.
Right.
He scored 15 goals this year, I think. So he's like 27 goals or 26 goals away from breaking the record. He scored a hat trick against Vegas, which was not fun to watch for me, but I was at least glad if anyone on the Caps was scoring, it was him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't love it.
Kind of felt the same watching Connor McDavid score in the Sens. It's like, okay. I don't feel that bad. It's Connor McDavid. He scores on everybody. Oh well.
Yeah. That's too bad.
He's pretty good at hockey. Yeah, he scored 2 in the first, and I was pretty done with the game after that.
Yeah, Sens have been kind of floating along here. 8, 9, and 1. 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10 with a 2-game losing streak. Yeah. They are 5th in the Atlantic right now.
Caught a case of the Novembers.
Same exact record as the Sabres as well.
That the Novembers always hit the Sens hard.
They always do. That you've said this before. I think you said last week. Like I've seen this October before, and I don't trust it.
It's a good October, and then it's a bad November almost every time.
Here comes the expert. Look at that. Brendan's already on the overlay switch. He's on top of it.
There we go.
Capitals expert.
There he is.
Reporting live from
his bathroom
near Washington, D.C.
Close enough.
Sam, everybody. Insert applause. Sam, we were just discussing the Ovechkin injury and how disappointed we were. And we know how much you've been tracking the season that he's been having and the Caps in general. So, yeah, tough go, unfortunately.
Yeah, and so I do have the tickets to the game next week up for sale. So, figured I'd save my money for a game where he's playing.
Yeah,
I think that's
you
fair.
can guarantee a no OV goal game.
You could.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Tempt fate.
When now that I've sold it, he'll come back that day and he'll score 6 goals.
Yeah.
I heard he was gonna score 27 and break the record that night.
Yeah.
Oh, when is the game?
He'll do that. Yeah.
What day is the game?
29th.
29. Yeah, so he could be back week to week.
Second week, yeah.
He's week to week, and it's like 1 week later, he's like, I'm back.
Yeah.
Machine I'm not never
sure.
break.
Yeah, it just needs maintenance. But yeah, and then I've got Foster, who we all kind of know, coming in actually that day. So it makes things easier logistically with him visiting that weekend. We'll be going up to a Commanders game.
Well, they've been playing well.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That'll be fun.
See how that goes.
Out of this injury, moving forward with the Caps, what do you see as a bright spot going forward on that roster?
It seems that we have some depth. You know, it's not just Ovi's line, although he is. He does lead the team, and as far as I know, still the league in goals.
I think so.
We have other people who can do that. Like Connor McMichael has really shown some strength this year, and Wilson had a hot start. He hasn't done much since, but I mean he has the potential. I mean he's shown it in previous years, but
getting up there.
But yeah, I mean, I think everyone was worried about the post OV era, if we'd be able to win anything. And his leadership, I'm sure, has a huge effect. But we have skilled players who can hold their own. it won't be the same, and
Sure.
there will be an adjustment. But it looks like even after he's gone, we won't. Uh, we'll have something left.
Not gonna
You won't
suck
necessarily
that year.
count it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and the Caps just called up Ivan Miroshnichenko. I'm just gonna go with that.
Miroshnichenko.
You said it, so I don't have to.
Yeah. And I know
Ivan.
people are debating where he's gonna slot in, whether he's gonna take Ovi's spot or if he goes down to like the third line and they move like Mangiapane up. Do you have any idea or what you
I
think?
mean,
What would
I
you
don't.
do?
Yeah, armchair
Yeah,
GM.
I don't think he goes first line. He fits the same spot. I mean, right. He's a right shooting left wing, and but then Ovi has been um, not purely in his left wing position this year. So um, so I don't know that alone is enough to have him just you know put in where Ovi left. So
Well, the hockey news has Ivan on the third line with Lars Eller and Jacob Vrana, and then having Mangiapane up in Ovi's spot. So seems to be
mhm.
the consensus.
Oh, Mangiapane, really?
That's probably safer.
Yeah,
He at least has NHL experience.
yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, Ivan has some, but
He does. Yeah, he does have a little bit.
Not the same.
Sam, we
yeah.
had a anonymous emailer send us in something about when we expect Ovi to break the goal record, like a date. Do you have something in mind, especially now? I mean, it changes things now with the injury. Like my answer has definitely changed a little bit, but
Sure. Um,
not sure.
I don't want to. I refuse to jinx anything, so I will answer with what I was thinking before the injury. That way, I don't jinx his progress going forward. But um, I fully expected it to happen this year. And he's it's happened before where he's hit slow periods um at some point in the season, but he's through the first what was it, 18 games?
Yeah,
Quarter,
about
pretty much.
Yeah. Scored at a higher rate than ever in his entire career. And
which
and
is
so
crazy.
like I mean his consistency has been his thing for the entire time he's been in the NHL, and to top himself at 39 is incredible. And so, without the injury, I I didn't see him slowing down anytime soon. But unless I start going to more games, in which case uh, he just he'd stop scoring.
Yeah.
Stop him in his tracks.
Well,
I believe it. It'll happen at some point when
yeah.
it's meant to be.
I mean, I would like it would be crazy if it was like last game in April of this year or something before heading into the playoffs. So it would be pretty cool. I'd say
Yeah.
probably around end of March, beginning of April, like push it kind of close. But I do think he will do it this season, just for
First
fun.
game
Yeah.
next season.
Dean, are you still on next year, the next year
Yeah.
train?
I am.
First game next year.
Gotta get those season tickets.
First game
Gotta get
next year, opening day.
He ends with
Uh,
he ends tied with Gretzky for the suspense, and then he breaks the record at the beginning of the next year.
He's like, I don't know if I'm
um,
gonna come back this
That's
year.
how I would write the script. Maybe I just go out tied on top, and he's like, "Just kidding."
Yep.
10-day
And-
contract, boom.
yeah.
And then Bam goes to the game, so he doesn't score.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
No, or it'll be an away game.
Right.
Yeah.
It's in San Jose.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
crazy
I mean-
to see like the ticket prices when he's one goal away. And
Oh,
how
God,
you
yeah.
like follow Ovi around.
Yeah,
traveling
but I
Ovies.
wonder.
Yeah,
I
there's like
wonder.
signs and
Oh, definitely, right? It's gotta happen.
That would be
But
cool.
do they take him like so? If he's one away, do they and they go on a road trip? Do they play him or do they want to give some fan service?
Like we gotta wait until we
It
play
depends on
at
how many
home.
games you got left.
Play Capital
Yeah,
One.
I
Need
know,
more,
but
need
and
more
we're currently
don't risk
we're
it.
leading the Metro, I think. So
Yeah, you
No,
are.
but I mean, as far as like if he's gonna like if you only have one home game left, I wouldn't not play him on the road just to save
right.
him for
Oh
that
yeah,
one home game.
Yeah.
No, but you gotta
But
get
it
the
would be
season
guaranteed.
way
last
cooler
week. You
doing it
gotta
at
get the
home.
season tickets for next year. So you just bench him. He's like one goal away, a couple games left. Like we got rest him
Yeah.
for the playoffs.
Right. He's an old man. He needs the rest.
Yeah.
yeah. And I
Fans would not be
Because once he
happy.
gets that, he's just gonna fall to dust, right? Like
He's
live
just
in
gonna
action.
gonna
Like, that'll
master
break the curse that
Uguay
holds
it.
them
Yeah.
together. And he's just gonna
he'll retire
fade.
mid game. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Like that
he'll
Bills
walk off.
player.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I'm done with this shit. Yeah.
And
Game
then
over.
he'll book his flight back to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never see him again.
Yeah.
Probably live a happy life over there. Famous guy.
Yeah.
Very famous.
well.
But then, hey, we got Ovi Jr. coming up in like 10 years. So
Little ways to
Easy.
go
And he'll
on that
also
one.
be put in Washington as a spy. So it'll work out. It'll
Yeah.
root for him as well.
Then he can recreate his dad's ESPN commercial with Ovi coming down from the ceiling to get the files.
yes, yeah.
Oh no, it was Holtby, or no, not Holtby. It was one of the goalie, the Russian goalies was coming down, and I think he was just like looking at files or whatever. Brizgala, I can't remember
Or he
who
was
it was.
pulling him back up or something.
Yeah, but that was a good one.
He was in one of those fun ESPN commercials back in the day.
This is Sports
But-
Center.
Better than that.
On another crazy theory that is not at all strategic. It would be cool if you know they got if he got within 3 and they activate Backstrom off of long term
there you
injured
go.
reserve. Yeah, they let him get the
Get the
assist.
assist.
Yeah, because
That would be fun.
yeah, but that's another bright spot is Strome has really filled in that role, and he's proven to he tied actually Backstrom's record with 11 consecutive goals that OV scored. He got an assist for, and that's as many as Backstrom ever had.
What an interesting stat to have.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Did you guys see the Reaves hit on Darnell Nurse?
That
I
was
did not.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 5-game
Oh
suspension.
wait, yes I did. It
It
was
was just
bad.
straight shoulder to head, and it's
Yeah,
Reeves
that was an ugly
with the
one.
history, so it's like 5 games for sure. And I mean, it could have been more if they did like an in-person hearing, but they didn't. So 5 is the max you can give. And I was like, "Yep, sounds right."
Yeah, that was not.
They got one right.
Oh yeah, that's an ugly hit. That's just an ugly hit. There's no
Yeah.
body contact, like body on body. It
I
is
guess-
just shoulder to face.
Reeves went down the tunnel left in between periods to like talk to Nurse and like apologize or whatever, and like it's bad when
yeah.
the people like his
Whatever.
teammates are like, "Yeah, that was a bad hit."
Yeah, like
Yeah, but it is
Hate to see it.
I'm not protecting him. Like, yeah, that was no good. You can't do that.
Like I don't know if he just thought that he was gonna like step out further, but like
He,
Nurse decides to like
misjudged
pull
the
up and pass the
speed.
puck and just
Like,
gets
his head's going this way,
like
and he
that's
just cut him off early.
like shorter to chin
Could be.
almost, just like knocks him clean.
Yeah,
That's-
it was.
if he
It
waited
was
a split
chin.
second longer, it's a clean hit, but he just got there too early.
Right. Yeah, just like far too early.
Yeah.
Tough. Well, hope Nurse comes back.
Mm-hmm.
The Oilers didn't need him. Dismantling the Sens the other night. It was like cat and mouse. It was a rough game. Definitely saw somebody on the subreddit questioning Brady as a leader and like seeing if we should trade him.
Oh, jeez.
I don't agree with that, but like People are not happy in Sens land that we are in another November like this.
And didn't the Canadians just shut out the Oilers not
They did the
too
night
long ago?
before,
Yeah.
and we got shut out the night before as well. So I was like, well, we both got shut out. So who's gonna fold? The team at home or the team on the road? And it was us, the team at home. Oh well.
Seen this story before. I mean,
We'll,
you're not
we'll be
like.
good by the time I go to see the Sens games late in the season.
Yeah, there you go. You're not like completely down on the team right now, though, are you? Like, are there still some bright spots, or is it kind of like this is the end? Like, here goes the run for the Sens again this year.
I mean, we have what 11 days more of November, and I'll guess 5 more hockey games in November, maybe 6. If we don't win 4 or 5 of those games, this could be the season. Like that could be it. If we go, because we're already not above positive in November right now. If we go below 500 in November, again, I mean, I just can't see the team turning around from that. If they do, I love it. That'd be awesome. Y'all be out there dancing in the street saying I always believed it would happen, right? But I really don't.
Yeah.
It's gonna be and we're playing some tough teams coming up soon, but it's gonna be some big wins that are gonna need to happen if we want any chance of being the team that we claim to be sometimes.
Yeah.
And then play like. But then I don't know, man. Shit happens and we just play so poorly, and then the goalie turns into a sieve and lets in the worst goals, but also we let up the dumbest chances.
We are very close to the American Thanksgiving kind of post-it note, the landmark for the season, as far as like
Measuring stick.
usually if you're at that level, if you're in the playoffs at that time of the year, good chance that you're gonna make it. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are on that, but that's
Right.
so we'll
80%?
have that next week.
And
we'll
obviously,
see who's
higher
there.
up, the more safe you are, right? You know, sitting in that wild card 2 position, the percentages on that are probably lower than sitting in the number 1 position, right?
For
Of making
sure,
the
yeah.
playoffs. But it is to be said that hey, if you're in the top half, you're probably going to stay in the top half at this point. And Sens and Boston both being a team that are right on the cusp.
Bruins are
And
just below. They're the next team out, or the first team out of the wild card by points
so
per
1
season.
ahead of the Sens,
2 ahead.
2 ahead.
So-
Philly's in between us.
Okay, but in the Atlantic.
So which team's worse, the Bruins or the Sens?
Right now or
think
going forward?
The Bruins have a better chance of bouncing back than the Sens.
I think so too, only because they've been there before. And I think it's so in the guy's head now, like as like starting to get a little bit older in the league and like having had no success, and they just don't know how to do it. They Claude Giroux is trying his damnedest, and Perron helps, and Olmark helps, and Amadio helps, but like it's just a lot of kids that just have not won hockey games that mattered. They've won a lot of hockey games that don't.
Bruins are 8-9-3. The Sens are 8-9-1. We played 2 more games and lost them both in overtime.
Okay, so essentially the same record.
Yeah.
I think that means your next 2 games go to overtime and you lose them both.
I think so.
Hey, 2 points.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
almost
the
like a
Islanders
win.
are saying.
Yeah, I'm
7,
pulling a
7,
Zane
and
card.
5. Yeah, when are we gonna get Zane in here?
7, 7, and 5.
Yeah,
That's wild. Also, so many games.
19
But also
games.
the fact that he posts that picture about the loser point
Oh yeah,
every year.
He did.
It's-
Every time.
Well, they were the loser point merchants last year too. Like they're literally doing it again. They're like,
We're
well,
always
we'll get
loser
to
point
overtime and then we'll probably lose.
That's good
Go
enough.
take a nap.
Because they have the structural skill, but they really aren't like other than Barzal, right? They're not like a skilled team. So you put just
Not
Raven
really.
out on the ice, and they're not going to chase you down, right? Like
Mhm.
they're a set up the system defense, set up the system forecheck, and like wear you down sort of vibe.
They're gonna need some regulation wins in order to maybe get some of these tiebreakers here too, because that could be a factor. With I feel like the wild card race in the East is gonna be really tight this year,
Really tight.
like it was last year. I mean, Detroit and Philly were really close. So,
And if Ottawa wants to be there, that's another team that's they have to try, but
yeah, they might
if
be.
they show up,
They might be there.
and Boston might be there as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Be there.
Because I don't think Boston you can put Boston ahead of Tampa, Florida, or Toronto right now. In your end of season standings, I don't think Boston is
can't
finishing
do
ahead of
it.
any of those.
Yeah,
right?
I can't.
So then that automatically puts them in that mix with, whoever's in that wild card, and like you said, between the Met and the Atlantic, there's
2 New York teams.
There's a lot of bumping around in there. The Sabres, the Islanders, the Red Wings, the Senators, the Flyers.
Yeah, a lot of
Devils,
potential.
All the
Devils
teams
in the top
that
in the Met.
They're third in the Met
right now.
Carolina
in the East. All right, 16 to 19 points. It's all really close.
Yeah.
I think we'll see what we've seen a lot before. The bottom of the West is very low, but the bottom of the East is tighter. Like the whole East is tighter than the West.
Actually, they're pretty similar.
42 point percentage.
Are the Blackhawks the worst in the West now?
Yeah.
Huh.
Preds,
San Jose is doing that well.
Preds are not far behind.
Yeah, the Preds have not turned it around.
They are still terrible.
Oh, you know what's kind of cool?
Hilarious to me.
That I'm gonna brag about when I was looking at the standings the other day. The Pass the Cup challenge. So we each have 6 teams. 5 of my teams are in the top 10, and Calgary is 11th.
Well, I was looking at that. I'm like, wow, some of these early teams could be
very
broken.
Tight races.
That's interesting.
Toronto, Carolina, New Jersey, Minnesota, Washington. Yeah, I picked Washington. I knew they'd be good. I picked them in my second to last pick. And Calgary.
Yeah, I mean,
Washington has the cup right now.
Crazy.
All right.
They've had
so
it for 2 games.
I was just checking, and last year at this point, the Capitals had, what was it? About 20 points, and they made the playoffs.
Right.
And they have 27 right now.
Yeah. So Bruins one behind. Yeah. Although
we're on pace for the Caps point or goal differential.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I wouldn't
the Caps,
aspire to that.
Okay, if we're going by games played, the Caps had several more points by 20, which is what where the Bruins are at right now. So maybe that's not the best comparison. But at this point in the season,
puts the Bruins in the playoffs.
Islanders probably. That's probably your best chance. Well, I guess you guys got 3 overtime loss points right now. Yeah, trending that way. We've had a couple.
Hey, we gave you one of those.
Yeah, and I think the Blues pretty recently as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just start digging on Dean all of a sudden. Yeah, and didn't you guys lose to this team?
Yeah. That team that both the Caps and the Sens beat 8-something.
Oh yeah, the Blues.
Hey, we beat them once. We had to come back from 2-0 third, but we beat them.
There you go.
That's good. Speaking of bad and the Blues, I don't like those Winter Classic jerseys.
I do like them.
what? They look like classic jerseys. What do you
I actually really like the Blues.
Eh.
The Blackhawks one's okay. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
I like the Blackhawks one. That one we saw a little while ago. That one was leaked a while back.
Yeah,
but now we get the official reveal.
I'm always a
The
fan.
Blackhawks one is better. The St. Louis one is so bleh.
Apparently, it's
the font.
Inspired by the team's unworn 1966 prototype jersey. So this is the second time that they've done that, because they also did that with their Reverse Retro 2.0, where they did that prototype.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool to just as people that care about history like
napkin.
that. Yeah, it is a little bland. I do like the cream, but it's a little
The cream is cool, but
a
like
little
it's just
college
fun.
hockey-esque. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
like
fine.
the natural
Same
leather
performance.
colored gloves. I think
I've always
that's
been a
cool.
fan
That
of
is,
that.
yeah, I
yeah,
do like
I
those.
like that. They it's sewn down embroidered heritage felt on the crest, which makes sense. They usually do felt for those type of crests for at least for St.
Wow.
And I
Louis.
don't,
Yeah, Dean
I
has
don't
the
love
felt
Blackhawks
on right
logos
now.
either.
I love felt jerseys.
I like that
That's fun.
Blackhawks logo better than their regular one, which is just the full
They
head
add the
profile.
stars for
Sure, they have
the
the stars and the name, and I like
A tribute
the
to the
C for the
Chicago
top model on
flag.
the side. I like that
yeah.
one.
I was gonna say Chicago flag. I'm like, that can't be right. It must be the state flag. And they're like, nope. It's I guess the city has a flag too.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows
Does it
what
just say
state that
Chicago on the
Chicago's in.
pants?
No.
It just says Chicago on the pants.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Eh.
I don't know. I like it. I think these are pretty fun. I'm excited to see what the Stadium Series jerseys are gonna look like too.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
Jackets versus the Red Wings, but it's cool to see these. I
Red
don't
Wings
know.
always make
Maybe I'll
trash
get one of them.
jerseys.
Yeah, no, that's true.
They've kind of struggled.
They make it's gonna be bad. The Blue Jackets one is gonna be dope, and the Red Wings one is gonna be sad.
That sounds pretty
Calling it.
likely. I would like to get if the Columbus Blue Jackets one is cool. I might get that one because I just like them and they don't have a lot of. I don't have a lot of jerseys of theirs in my
I like
collection.
their green bug jersey.
The original prototype. I haven't read about
Yeah.
that one yet. Or not
a weird
prototype,
one.
but just the original design.
Yeah. The little hornet looking thing.
Yeah,
The blue.
Stinger.
The yellow checker looking thing. But
the
it's blue.
mascot.
The mascot.
Going back to the Red Wings jerseys, did you see that Jeff Petrie was wearing an Adidas jersey the other night?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Someone was able to catch that while watching the broadcast. It was pretty funny.
Apparently, someone was saying that like players have reworn
dimples.
or worn Reeboks before, like in the early Adidas days.
Yeah, apparently.
No, it's not like a rule against it, but it's interesting.
It is pretty funny to see that.
Yeah, I guess if you just have some left over. How old of a jersey? Like as long as it's the same team, can you just put on like a 10 years ago jersey? Like can Ovi put on his just like original Screaming Eagle if he wants?
I think it has to look pretty damn
same
similar,
design.
like the same design. Yeah.
They'll just put on their away jerseys while everyone else while they're at home.
You
Yeah.
can do that if you want. And then
Well,
just
it's
force
going
other
back
team
to like the
switch.
gold helmet for the top scorer. Just have like,
Oh, that'd be
Mm.
sick.
Whoever
I think
wear,
they
like-
should have that.
or just have like what you had in gym class in middle school. Those like gross little vests that you put over
The pennies?
Little pennies.
the pennies. Yeah.
Oh my
One player gets a
goodness.
sweaty penny to put over their jersey if they're the leading goal
Mhm.
scorer.
Jeez.
It doesn't
It's
get
a gold
washed.
one though. Nope.
Yeah, of course they
Um,
couldn't wash it.
But speaking of old jerseys, I do think my next purchase might be the Capitals 2015 Winter Classic. I think
The
that's,
red one
Yeah,
with the W. Yeah, I like that one.
yeah, it's nice. I almost got it the other day, because I saw there was a sale on it, but they don't sell them by the numbered size. It's just small, medium, and large.
No.
But the sale was only on smalls.
Maybe we have a lot of those.
Oh,
I was trying to get
I might wear a small. I wonder. It's like, oh, I don't have that one yet.
Is the sale on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the sale is over.
Oh, Sam.
We'll still have a
Sorry.
Black Friday one. Don't worry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't really need it.
But I
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah. For the right price.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got for the jersey talk.
I give that segment a 4.5 Fred Loves Hockey logos
No-
out of 5.
No more halves, Owen.
4.25
Well, at this
Fred
point,
Loves
I would
Hockey
have already
logos
made
out of
the half logo, so you can have as many. You can do 3 halves of a.
Oh my gosh. There you go.
I give it 9 halves of Bread Loves Hockey logos out of 10 halves of Bread Loves Hockey logos.
Out of 10 halves. Oh my gosh. Okay.
But
Just multiplying
just
by
the
2.
left half.
Just right, the good half.
Yeah.
Next segment, the PWHL. Did you see they got added to an Chell 25?
We
Talked
did.
about that last week. You
We
were
did talk about that
on
last
the
week.
podcast.
This week, I'm recapping for Sam.
Okay.
Well, he obviously
Yeah.
listened
Excuse
to
yourself.
last week's
Yeah, he
episode.
was on.
Yeah. No,
Avid
I
viewer.
actually, I was standing just off camera.
Yeah.
In one of your
Oh.
shots.
Oh.
I won't tell you who.
Keep that a secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
The PWHL is visiting different cities that they don't currently reside in to do some like exhibition games elsewhere in the 2 countries, which
Hey,
I think is pretty
Denver.
cool. And I think it's a good look into where they may place expansion franchises because there's been a lot of talk about where the next PWHL team goes. And I
They're
think
not-
it's probably on that list.
They're not exhibition though, right? They are like regular season games.
Right, they are, but I was relating it to the exhibition games
But
in
it's
the.
gonna be one of the East. It's gonna be Buffalo, Detroit, or Quebec City.
I think it'll be Buffalo, Detroit. Maybe Quebec too.
You think so?
Those were the ones that we were kind of like somewhere in like the Rust Belt or Quebec City.
Because
Yeah.
you're still trying to avoid travel costs.
Like I don't think it's gonna be Seattle,
You think
Vancouver,
they won't-
Denver. Probably
I
not
can see
St.
Seattle
Louis.
and Vancouver coming in together.
Yeah, just like not now.
Yeah, maybe Quebec City, but would it be? Could you? I mean, obviously, it could support itself in Quebec City. There's enough demand, but to have it in a city that doesn't have a NHL team feels weird. It'll probably be Detroit.
They would draw up just fine without an NHL team, though. I can promise you that.
In Quebec City, they would.
Like for sure, they draw like a lot of events that they have for hockey, so like they would be fine.
Yeah, but if they go to Omaha, right, they're not gonna.
Less
If they
likely.
go to Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. Also, like unlikely.
Right. But I'm saying like Quebec.
Quebec is the exception because yeah.
Well,
because it's small.
Or like Saskatchewan maybe could do well. I don't know.
Interesting.
So-
Winnipeg not on the list. Or Calgary.
The Athletic just did a player poll for the NHL about where they'd like to see expansion teams, and Houston, Quebec, and then just Arizona generally were the top 3. But it was the heavily favored towards Houston and Quebec. They had far more than anything else, including Helsinki, which got 2 votes.
Hey,
sick.
couple Finnish boys sticking together, voting for their hometown.
But
I would like to see Mexico City.
Yeah.
That would be
I don't
tough.
think it's that far away. I mean, when you're in the air, you're in the air. Yeah, it takes an extra 2 hours.
But yeah, I do think Houston is an interesting pick for them or the PWHL.
Houston also not on the list of where they're going, but that makes more sense.
That makes more
to maybe
sense.
not go there.
Yeah. Dina, you
Also,
gonna go
but
to the
also
Denver
no-
game?
No
I
Miami
was just
or
looking.
anything.
Tickets go on sale in 12 hours.
Oh.
Dang.
January 12th, Ball Arena. Unfortunately, it's
Sunday
Montreal at
afternoon.
Minnesota, so it's not the Boston team.
That means I don't need
playing.
to buy Boston merch by January 12th. So
Right.
There you go.
You're wearing your Bruin stuff. That'll be good enough.
yeah, we'll see.
If
You're
you
welcome to
want
join.
if you want to come on January 5th to Seattle with me, we could see Montreal at Boston in Seattle.
Ooh.
At Boston.
I guess that would also be a Sunday.
Or
At
we could go to St.
Boston.
Louis and go to Ottawa at Boston in St. Louis on the 29th of March.
I'd rather go to Seattle.
Yeah, that's fair. Me too. That's St. Louis.
Just a quick flight for the
E3.
weekend.
Did you guys see the rule changes for the PWHL that are going into effect this year?
No, but I just see the
course
no
I
escape rule, and that sounds cool.
Yes, that's the one I know.
What does it mean?
The The new rule requires players on a team that take a penalty, which leads to penalty time on the clock, to remain on the ice until after the face-off that resumes action. This
Oh,
requirement,
so yeah,
similar to
committing
the
a penalty
current
is the same as
no
an icing.
player change rule that governs icing the puck, could lead to situations such as teams opening a penalty kill with 3 forwards and 1 defender on the ice until an opportunity to substitute arises.
So
I
it's
like
just
that.
another penalty. It's just another way to punish the team for getting a penalty, basically.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, it sounds like they want to try to focus on getting a little bit more offense out of the teams. They already have the jailbreak rule, which is kind of fun.
The scorer shorthanded to get relieved.
It also
Yeah.
sucks if your center gets the penalty because then you probably don't have a second face-off guy, so then you're going to lose the face-off
Lose
in
the
the offensive
face-off.
zone and
Yeah.
be stuck.
Yeah, that could be tough. But I'll be interested to see how
penalties.
that works out. Yeah, I guess that's the rule. Sounds like they are also doing a delay of game review. I believe they're adding that in. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, coach may challenge applications to delay a game puck over the glass. So, the NHL just implemented something like that this year, so the PWHL is trying to.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Do you know if their games are going to be streamed on YouTube again this year?
Talked about
haven't-
it, and we're guessing yes.
I
but
haven't gotten any
we don't know.
confirmation about it. Yeah,
I would like to think yes.
They recently announced their Canadian broadcasts for this upcoming season, but I haven't seen anything for the American audience or just anything mentioning YouTube in general. I would hope that they would be.
Yeah, after building that base of support.
Yeah. I mean, it was huge reason for people tuning in. Just trying to see if there were any other big penalties. Oh, so the other big one being the penalty for a major penalty in game misconduct as a default penalty for all illegal checks to the head that occur during play. So I guess they're the first professional hockey league to do that. To try to, protect
Cut down on that.
protect people's
so like that
heads.
Darnell Nurse hit would be an immediate game misconduct.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And it says, announced today, blah, blah, blah. You go check that out. Will automatically initiate a further review with the PWHL Central Situation Room, by which referees may confirm their original call, reduce the penalty to a minor if the hit was accidental, or rescind it entirely if the review determines the head was not the main point of contact. So they still review it, which is good. Like, it would be frustrating if your team immediately got a major penalty and your player got a game misconduct because of something that wasn't
something wrong.
Yeah. So that's good. And they also did something similar with headbutting too, upgraded to a major penalty plus game misconduct. So
Interesting.
And
Sounds right.
a major penalty in game misconduct has been added to any player who pulls her opponent's hair or grabs her opponent's chin strap, facial protection, or throat protection. I think that's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, but that means you can't like rip somebody's helmet off to fight them.
Can't do that in the NHL.
Yeah.
Which is
Or you could be like that guy from Twitter that like, oh, this game's getting so weak. What does this come to? You can't even rip people's helmets off anymore.
Yeah.
So
Can't even
soft.
kick their face in.
Making people wear neck guards.
Throat
You
protection.
can't even beat the fans in the stands with a shoe anymore. What
Yeah,
the
come
hell?
on.
This isn't my game.
Yeah, in my hockey, we played without gloves or skates.
Something tells me those type of guys are not watching the PWHL though.
Probably not.
Unfortunately.
Honestly, keep them away. I don't care. I don't need that viewership.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not.
in charge.
It's not for you, anyways. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
I almost have the Ottawa Charge logo on, except for this looks way better. Sorry. Their logo sucks, though.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Oh, well. You win some, you lose some.
Oh,
They'll rebrand in a little bit.
Leafs just scored. Damn.
We hate when those darn dirty Leafs do that.
2-0 Leafs in the third. 17 minutes to go.
Against Los Knights.
Yeah. Yup. And we're out shooting them.
That's a tough one.
Oh, well.
Happens.
Well, the only other thing we had on the Google Doc was the Canucks for JT Miller is taking in indefinite leave for personal reasons, and obviously
I think they had a kid, is what it was.
I don't know. They
I
didn't
feel
go
like
into
JT Miller's
details,
having a kid.
but
It sounded like it was more serious than that.
yeah, I
Wow.
feel like you don't.
You don't word it that way. It's usually just like
Maybe it's serious.
you're out for a couple games to be with your wife, and then like
Yeah,
Maybe
tough
it was somebody
loss
else I read
That's
about.
it.
for the Canucks.
yeah.
Canes are up 4-1
It's
right
been
now.
good.
Interesting. Canes are up 4-1, and then we have the Stars up 3-1 over the Sharks. Like nobody saw it coming.
It's like somebody could have seen that one coming.
Probably everybody. Jason Robertson.
We'll give you guys a quick pass the cup update. So Owen
Yes.
with 6 points now in the lead.
Oh.
We've
Ooh.
got
But not for long.
Dean and I tied with 5, and
Yep.
Zach with 3, and Matt on the board with the 1. So,
Ooh, man.
but he's doing fine in hat tricks still.
He's doing too good in hat
He's
tricks.
got 10 on the season for 22.7% hat trick percentage. Let's see. Zach and I are tied with 8, Dean with 6, and Owen sadly with 4 on the season.
I'm so bad.
You do have the
Having a
most
tough
rough
season.
nights as well.
Zach's passed me on reverse
45.5%
hatties.
rough nights. That's
Oh,
rough.
wow.
Zach is still almost at 50% with only missing one question.
Yeah,
I was gonna
wow.
add up. I was curious to see who has the most just like right answers.
Oh, like total correct.
Wait, I guess I could do that really quick.
Shouldn't be
Yeah,
too bad.
like
I'm on a 3-game hat trick streak, or I was until
Yeah.
last night. So
Yeah, I saw that. You're welcome.
That's-
One of those were my questions.
that's been pretty cool. I wasn't even sure if I got last night's. I didn't even look. Or 2 nights ago, rather. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what's going on
that's-
there. For all you
tough.
fine people on the internet, Sam's not participating in either of those, but
Not
No.
this year.
I'm sure he's rooting for one of us. Probably not.
Yeah. I'm rooting for whoever wins.
Hey.
That's probably Gifford.
I'm
hat
rooting for
tricks,
whoever
at least.
loses.
That's probably you, Owen.
I'm so far behind, and I just can't, for the life of me, get them right. I gotta be more random, I think.
Yeah, that's probably it.
That's how I did it.
Works some of the time. Do you have anything else for the good, fine folks of episode 69 that made it this far? If you made it this far, leave a nice in the comments.
That would be great.
Everybody that leaves a nice in the comments, I will Venmo you between 10 cents and $1, depending on how many of you do it.
whoa. Anyone who leaves a nice will get a loved comment by the podcast.
Also
Yes,
true.
that too. Yeah, and obviously a shout out, and probably a place on a shrine somewhere.
We'll see. We'll see about what we could promise there.
A place in my heart.
Okay, there you go.
Guaranteed.
I'll offer that up.
But you got to comment nice on the video.
Yeah, you gotta
right
do
down
your
there,
part.
in that box down there. Hit the bell.
Share with your friends.
If you want to see when we post, it's every week. We post every week.
Sundays,
Like clockwork.
7 Eastern.
Sunday 7 Eastern. Unless you live over here.
Well, it's still 7 Eastern.
Right, but not for me. I don't live there. That's 5 a.m. I can't get up that early. Can you post it later?
You can just
I was looking.
watch it
like,
later. It'll already
big
be there.
YouTubers It seems like the big YouTubers post on Saturdays at like 9 or
Ah.
10 a.m. my time.
That
So,
feels like the time to do
like
it.
noon Eastern
hmm
on a Saturday. But
Noon Eastern on Saturday. That means the editor needs to go a little faster. I give that last segment
Oh god.
5 out of 5 deans.
Oh,
wow.
oh
Oh
no.
no.
Okay, we
If
gotta
only I got the timestamp sooner.
we gotta sign off here so Owen can stop giving Dean more work. Thanks,
This is the
everybody.
episode we've been waiting for. We made it.
Yeah.
The Quad Box
All right.
returns for season 2. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you coming around for a special episode, and we'll see you next week.
It was nice.
Very nice.
There's the back.
Do you want to have some fun?
Maybe.
Do you want to cut both of our jerseys in half and sew them together?
We're done here.
Would that be so cool?
They're not the same size. It would be
Oh, right.
terrible.